Can I hear anything from you, Aggro?
Okay. Okay, my voice is being. And then properties.
Oh, I hear it now.
Actually, go ahead and say something, Dom.
I think they can hear me too. I
Okay,
mean, I can hear
awesome.
myself in stream.
Okay, awesome. And I just need to make sure that the stream itself is live, that everything is going well. Cool, awesome. Everybody, welcome to our very impromptu recording of this game. We're here live to just go ahead and give a quick broadcast of the game. The match is already starting, so I'm not going to give a big intro. This is Dom on this side of the stream. I'm Aggro. We're just here to give a overview of the game and give you a little bit of a broadcast to show off all of these players on a really cool match. Dom, would you like to talk about this board? Well, it's still big.
This Gandalf says hello. Hello everyone to the stream. We've got Leonine Misbegotten as a middle square. It's definitely an interesting square as a first one. I wonder if people are gonna go for it as like +0. Are they gonna set up or anything like that? What weapon they're gonna have? But I'm mostly a DLC player as well, so like I'm looking Blessings of Marek as a nice rushable square.
Mm-hmm.
Dane is a rushable square. There
We
is
have
a
some
few
nice
rushable
mid
square.
game. We have some really nice early
Yeah.
game on the DLC side. You have later game squares to look out for, like Bale and Deathblight Dancing Lion. Well, you also
Yeah.
have some earlier squares, such as Jory. Not Jory is the earlier square. Sorry, that was the mid game squares I was still looking at. Uh,
Bale.
I'm swapping over to me multi Twitch setup now, and hopefully let's get looking at everybody's gameplay. Okay, so we're still at negative countdown. Our faces are no longer on the stream, but you should be able to see everyone's perspectives. Oh, never mind. Maybe OBS is crashing uh, on Ariel's side here. Hopefully, we get that up and running. Uh, yep, looks like we've got that running as soon as possible. Actually, let me go ahead and adjust that too. We have somebody streaming for Ariel here today who is not able to stream. So I'm just going to make some quick adjustments here. Make it a little bit better for everybody. Dom, if there's anything else that you've noticed about the board while I'm making these adjustments, go ahead and feel free to shout
Uh,
it out.
so it's a little bit weird for me to actually see the board because I'm looking at like my own board and then on the stream and like everyone's got different colors. Everyone's showing the board, but we've got Memory Grace with 50k as well. That is extremely rushable on base game. Got Bloodhound Knight as well. Crackpots. There's also a few rushable squares on the base game side. Uh, Moog.
I've
Moog
been
is a late game
told
square.
that this is how it's supposed to look. There we go. Maybe that looks a little bit easier for everybody at home. The yellow is the correct yellow, the blue is the correct blue, the red is the correct red. Unfortunately, Madelyn, Ness, and Charo, they all have different colors. But that's their own
Yeah.
personal bingo overlays. Everyone has their own color combos that they like to use. Right away, we already see a divergence in the DLC players. Was there any interesting starting class? Looks like we have already a divergence in the base game in the starting class. One person
Yeah.
going for a great
Great
katana
Katana.
start, and the other going for a rotten great axe. Meanwhile, we have a two blessings America rush on Madelyn's side and looking towards three path cross, I believe, on Ariel's side.
Yeah. She might be going for like weapon check into Dane or something like that.
Yes, that might be very interesting. I like the Dane as a potential play. Also interesting to note, Blessings America does get you towards Scadu Altus, just a minute behind the other player if they straight rush it. Now, going for the, I believe going for the katana check here is 45 seconds slower. So I'd be interested to see if Ariel is able to keep their lead over Madelyn if they do decide to go straight into the Dane. if Madelyn's able
Oh,
to potentially catch up
Madeline
that.
ported to the round table by accident.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a time loss, but I'd be very interested to see how this race plays off here. Meanwhile, we have our base game players doing their classic run to go get Torrent. While they're doing some running, I'm going to go ahead and see if I could take a closer look at this board and see if there's anything really exciting here. Already a noticeable thing is we have this interesting push towards south that exists on this board.
Yeah.
We notice Lamenter, Oil of Renah, and the Golden Misbegotten in the Fissure Depths. I think this is the first game that we showcase that new square, the Golden Misbegotten and Fissure Depths, to kind of push players towards that PK. However, what I find very interesting is none of those plays that exist in South are very rushable, except for maybe Perfumed Oil, which even then is super out of the way. So I'd be very interested to see when our players wish to go South, because getting Scadu Altus and Shadowkeep is pretty important, because you have the Blessings, the Dane, and Heal the Wounded Kindred, which are pretty early game plays. But then once you transition to the mid game, it's like South or very awkward kill squares with Bale, Dancing Lion, and Jory.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone wants to do Deathblade Lion.
Meanwhile, like there's not a ton of synergy to be had with the the co-op squares on this board.
Oh, Ariel died on TLEA skip.
Very unfortunate, because that might lose any of the prio, because now Madelyn and Ariel are next to each other. Did not grab the TLEA Grace though, so hopefully we don't see any deaths here on Madelyn's side. Looks like a very clean TLEA skip on that regard.
Yeah. I know me and Madeline did like play both together and against each other, and we definitely talked about like this route as well, where like if you go over the Gravestone skip, like I never pretty much pick up TLEA Grace, I pick up the Egon's Grace.
Mm-hmm.
I think it does make things a bit faster if you don't die on the skip.
Yes. The if you don't die on the skip.
Yes.
I feel like most people can agree TLEA skip does claim many victims.
My mortal enemy.
I'm going to try and not mess up any of my broadcasting when I do this. I'm going to try and get to the Bingo Club stream open, because I don't actually have chats on this one. So let's go ahead and take a look here.
Blessings of Marika marked.
Nice blessings mark. Now, what I'd be interested here in seeing is it does look like Ariel is still a little bit behind even after that blessings mark. So I'd be very interested to see how we go about that. Base game looks like they're rushing the cracked pots. Pino would be proud.
Are they both rushing it? On the base game for crackpots? I can definitely see
well,
Ness is.
It's definitely a rush by Ness here. It definitely looks like a rush here on Charapos' side.
Yeah.
Just a little bit less of a straight line. Ness's background. I think some people might see Ness playing against some of the most terrifying players in Bingo ever, and not realize just how absolutely terrifying Ness is as a player as well. Very, very clean routing, very, very good, has been keeping up with all the stress that the Brawlers have been using on top of learning this entire time. So very, very clean pathing, very clean routing. I would not want to be in a race against her in base game anytime. Looks like we're stopping by to get a little bit of money on Ness's side, probably because did not start with the money, needs to purchase the cracked pots from Kale.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we are seeing Dane be set up for both players in the DLC here. It looks like Madelyn is slightly ahead. I have missed a little bit of the optimizations here. I'd be very interested. I think this is something that most players are very interested in. And a big reason I wanted to record these games, all the like slight little optimizations that could be made on every single player's side to just get a little bit faster and ahead
Yeah.
of your opponents. I know the Tiolier skip was a bit scary. Also, I just noticed we have a smithing stone purchase here on the side of Ariel. Did not choose to go somber, so does not have Rakshasas. Going for the Great Horn Hammer instead. An interesting divergence here. I believe Ariel did grab the Grace with the Ash of War, which would be able to be put on this Great Horn Hammer. It is a Great Hammer class, usually pretty good. And then that gives
Madelyn is
you
not
access to
going for
Frost.
Dane. Madelyn is not going for Dane.
Madelyn not going for Dane, though. We're
I
getting
think since
the
Crackpot was
kill
marked,
here.
Charapos is switching to Bloodhound.
Mm-hmm. We're getting a Kale getting beat up here for Bloodhound Knight summoning Blide on Charapos' side. There's so much pathing going on here in the early game, so much excitement going on. I'm not sure if I was mentally ready to keep track of 4 players.
Yes.
It
I mean,
does
you
look...
should be better at it, I feel like. You've got experience with casting.
Yes. So Charapos looks like going for the Bloodhound Knight summoning Blide. We have Ariel going for Dane. We have Ness, it looks like, is setting up Academy, potentially looking
Yeah.
at the ritual pots. Did pick up the ritual pot. Oh, we have a death to Dane on Madelyn's side. This could be the way that Ariel overtakes. Hopefully, no death. The disc comes back. Oh no, we have a death on both sides to Dane. Dane claims a life. Dane is a very scary fighter. I think a lot of people don't give a lot of credit to Dane, especially if you only play casually. Dane usually falls over like a wet noodle. In the case of fighting him, very, very low skidoo, not a lot of levels. Like, these players have 50 vigor, but otherwise are rune level 1. So Dane can be a bit of a menace. Weed Cutter absolutely putting in work, though. It's more of a stamina management on Madelyn's side. I would be very careful from Madelyn. A lot of those Palm Blasts have very, very long range if you're not careful. But does not matter. Gets the kill. This is going to be a very unfortunate snipe on Dryleaf Dane in a duel. Sets up a very scary column 4 already. We see the insta-quit out there by Ariel. Very, very nice. I'm ready to see some Solari getting some square action on this board. It looks like we're making our way down here to Bloodhound Knight summoning Blide, which will preemptively block the diagonal and any potential column 2 shenanigans.
The only thing that I am sort of curious about is like if Ariel went around for the free puff grace, she could have done the katana check, and Madelyn went with like weapons from Round Table. So I did miss the weapons from Round Table, but it looks like then it was Rakshasa in Round Table.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why, or maybe Ariel missed it or something. why Ariel opted out for this weapon instead of Rakshasa.
Yeah, it is a little interesting. Meanwhile, we do have ADM Invader going down. Very interesting shout here. Invaders is on the board, but it's not always something that I would rush. So I wonder if this is just like a nice little pickup from Madelyn. Madelyn's feeling maybe confident with the current 3-square lead that MadNess has, and is like, let's pick up a little bit of value that I highly doubt my opponent's going to go for right now. Meanwhile, we have Charapos entering the fight with Bloodhound Knight while summoning Blide. For those that are not aware, in our rules, it does state that if you're going to do a square like Bloodhound Knight summoning Blide, you must summon the cooperator at the beginning of the fight. That's why you're seeing him summon him immediately instead of maybe just fighting Darrowell by himself. I know some players really enjoy not having NPCs in their fight, but that's part of the fun. This is why people don't like it. Big, wide swings definitely could be a little tricky, especially when you see Darrowell fighting Blide, especially since Blide has that colossal sword that does kind of push around Darrowell and knock him over a lot.
So I don't think I can see it right, but does Charapos can't wield this weapon? Or is it just the faith requirement? Probably it's just
I
the
believe
faith
it's the
requirement.
faith requirement. Just based off of the damage, I'm pretty sure it's just the faith requirement. Is it Turnip in chat? Is it Charapos? Could be Charapos. Charapos. Charos.
We have first square marked.
Charapos? Oh, it's Charapos. I see Satan did mention it and ping the chat. Okay, thank you, thank you. I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Please, if I mispronounce anyone's name, let me know. Charapos here is new to this event. I don't think they have played an event on the server before. So unfortunately, have not gotten a lot of interaction time with them before. Always pronounce my name. I don't think I've ever pronounced your name. I've never pronounced it with a D ever. Got the Nagakiba and an ADM death. However, well, this is really, really nice to have that ADM progress later on for Bale and Lamenter. Perfumed Oil of Renah will be stolen away by Ariel, which is the only really quick square that we mentioned down here in South. So this ELAC play could end up being really nice to just get down here, take that away, and then think about it later.
The thing with DLC, which I kind of like, especially, I think it's a really good pickup from Ariel. The thing that I like about the DLC is like it's so easy, especially with like you have those like game squares like Bale or the Co-op Worm, Drake, Dragon, Ancient Dragon square. It's so easy to catch up on the progress that you go pick up early squares that block off your opponent's lines, and then later you can catch up fairly easily for squares like that.
Yeah, I do really like how there is all this difference in routing and choices, and how, like in the base game, if you get prio in something like Academy, which Ness is getting now, it can feel daunting to have to get Academy prio because it is such a long run. Whereas DLC, everything's a little bit closer. We get the perfumed oil here. It looks like Madelyn was not looking to actually contest the oil, just kind of pushing opponent to run all the way south, which is very good for Team MadNess here. I like to see that Solari has made up some of that square deficit that happened earlier. I know sometimes, especially with the Dane being a snipe, it's very easy to kind of get into your head with disparage. So it's really nice to see these
Yeah.
players keeping their head in the game, marking some squares, getting on the board, and making their own presence. Meanwhile, oh my goodness, talk about Rakshasas weed cuttering. Somebody hand Pepe Jack a great katana because this is how you kill Queeline.
Get me that for Vike in base game as well.
Oh, I would love to have that weapon or Wild Strikes for for Vike. We have a Red Wolf kill happening on. I'd be very interested. I believe Madelyn is going to go for the Red Wolf now. Preemptively getting a block on that row 4. Something that we didn't really talk about with the row 4. There isn't a ton of Memby duping action on this board. Not a lot to push you into any specific remembrance boss, so not maybe wanting to deal with that. But 5 bosses Liurnia and 5 bosses that ride a horse synergize pretty well with 2 Knights Calves just chilling in Liurnia.
True.
Madelyn's going for Red Bear, not Red Wolf. Apparently I misspoke. Definitely no sus glint blades happening at all on Ness's stream. And Red Bear already being taken down also by Ariel here. I'm very interested if there's something that I'm not seeing, because I don't think Charapos has made any progress towards Academy, but maybe it's just like, hey, I'm going to go into Academy after this and set up my weapon, which would make this a pretty devastating snipe for Team Solari.
You can see Ness going, I'm guessing towards the wet blade.
Ooh, yes. I didn't really think about the Red Wolf play in regards to that, but yes. But
Yeah,
not going
like
for the Wet
especially if
Blade,
you
going for the
know.
Imbued Key without picking up the Wet Blade. Uh, I mean, as good as the Wet Blade is, you do need an Ash of War, and it doesn't look like Ness is particularly posturing towards getting an Ash of War. So just going for the Imbued Sword Keys, potentially setting up a row 2 play.
I mean, even if she's not gonna go for the imbued key, it's nice if they ever have to or decide to go for Moog. It's definitely helpful to have double status.
Yeah, but still has the grace, can decide to go get that
Yeah.
at any time. Maybe just looking to get a little bit of extra progress and then coming back for it. Or maybe the thing that I was talking about, not even really thinking about the Wet Blade, just thinking, I want to get some squares on the board.
Yeah.
Maybe just come back for it later whenever the game state is screaming to go for it. We do see that mark on Red Wolf and a Red Bear. It is a bit of a snipe. The weapon difference is pretty crazy here. Rakshasas is
Yes.
easily one of the best DLC weapons. Unfortunately, missing that here is going to, like, DPS wise, we saw that Madelyn was doing some really, really good damage, whereas, you know, the Red Wolf was only like half health when Madelyn got the kill, despite the fact I believe Ariel was in the fight first on Red Bear.
Yeah.
I could be wrong though, but
I think Ariel did go into the fight first, I think.
with so much happening on the screen, so easy to miss. To answer Josh's question, Rakshasas was in round table hold. Ariel has access to the katana check, and Madelyn skipped the katana check this game. Yeah, and now looking at Ness's stream, it looks like just full rushing that imbued sword keys, which is something I have not seen done very often. But the imbued keys are not that much of a trek if you do Red Wolf, Red Bear. It's just that one imbued key that's out of the way. The rest of them, I mean, it's maybe a 2-minute run for a square, which I think is kind of above average.
Yeah. I also think with imbued souls keys, like depending on the route you take, it looks like Ness is just going like straight forward. You might get some like nice graces closer for later for certain other squares.
Mm-hmm. Looking for Liurnia bosses. Yeah, Ariel probably going for the kill for the money. There are a lot of really, really big bosses on this board. Charapos going for the Royal Revenant. Unfortunately, gets Royal Revenanted. If there's one thing that boss is good at, it is 100 is zeroing you, especially at the low vigor. Also, maybe not something that you would think of. Royal Revenants are very resistant. I believe it's 80% resistance to holy damage. So the Inseparable Sword is probably not doing quite as much damage as Karpos would have liked.
Yeah. I know when we used to play back on like the other seasons where nothing was randomized, uh someone came up with a strategy to just grab the heal from Corrin and just it like instantly annihilates them.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, with randomized spells, it's not a guarantee that it will be in the shop. But it could have been an interesting tech to check it if you wanted to go for the Revenant. But it looks like Karpos saw, hey, that Revenant kill died very quickly, did not go very well for us. Let me go do literally anything else right now. Might be looking for some. What are we looking for here in Weeping? That's what I'm interested in.
I mean, middle square.
The Leonine Misbegotten, that could be the play here. A lot of the pathing reminded me of potentially going for the Sacred Tier in the Golden Seed. I'm not sure if Karpos picked up the Sacred Tier, but did get the Golden Seed at least.
The Madelyn is heading into the Rolana fight, probably for the double dupe square.
Mm-hmm. Ness does have access to a Memby, which is very nice considering there's not a lot of Memby pressure on this board, and it does play into the Liurnia bosses if going for Renala. Also, Radon is a boss that rides a horse, so there is some synergy if you wanted to do Radon too for that double dupe square.
The only problem I see with Radan is like it doesn't get you anywhere. Like it doesn't progress you to any other squares.
Mm-hmm.
It's good money. I think it's always like a good idea if you're just going for a Memby or like horse bosses if you just want money to go for them, but it doesn't like progresses you to anything else.
Yeah. Also, for a lot of the people, I know they're saying weapon diff. There is an important thing to note that Ariel has not taken the time to go get Glintstone Wetblade, which I think is why the Red Bear was such an important kill. Just getting that kill gives you the money to buy the Glintstone Wetblade, which would have allowed Ariel to put Frost on the weapon, which would have made up a lot of the damage. Oh, very tragic death on that skip to Charapos here. Having a rough start. I really want to see how Solari turns it around. I don't want to have any disparage because right now I think they have a good game plan going for them. They're picking up some nice squares. Looking at that diagonal, if they get Leonine Misbegotten and then MadNess Loger Beastclaw, it's not like MadNess has any real prio towards horse bosses which could force Madelyn into Lamenter or Bale.
Madeline
Madelyn
had
takes the
just had a
death.
really bad death
Hmm.
right near the end of the helper.
This is definitely something that is kind of nice for um, Team Solari. Not only getting that death on Madelyn to kind of catch up a little bit of that time, one bad death trades for another bad death, but makes the decision to port out of the Leonine Misbegotten, which obviously they don't know this, but we do. Ness is not currently working on Leonine Misbegotten, so making some progress elsewhere. Well, Ness is working on a different square.
I think she's working on ritual pots. I think she was close
Mm-hmm.
to the merchant and died to the dogs. Yep.
The last ritual pot, I'm assuming being picked up here in Academy. Picked up the one in Leicester already, got the one purchased by the merchant, got the two in Jarberg, and now this will be the fifth one picking up here. Working on horse bosses actually right now by Charapos. They are looking at threatening that diagonal, and I'm not sure if they're looking at full sending it. In which case, I'm very interested to see what Ariel's game plan here is for either going for Bale or Lamenter, or just saying, nah, it's fine. Go off and do one of these squares so I could pick up Heal the Wounded, Kindred of Rot, or try to like stabilize my game plan a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't think either option is necessarily bad if they try to send that line or just leave it at two longest squares for the other team. I know, like, I do it a lot of times. If I'm behind, I try to maybe like force a line just to catch up on other squares.
Yeah. I do notice that Ariel is choosing to go into Shadowkeep, which makes me think that they're looking for more of a majority play and stabilizing a little bit. Maybe getting a hippo kill would be really nice. I'd be interested to see if Ariel ports back and maybe picks up a grease to potentially make this fight go a little bit faster. Or is just going to kind of raw dog it without status and try to get that money underneath the belt for upgrades and for potentially getting a wet blade to put on the Great Horn Hammer, which I think is where the main DPS difference is happening right now, is one status versus no status. Carpo's getting some money here.
Yeah,
Ness looking to get some upgrades.
I I do like the Ordina route. I recently been showed by some other players that you can actually get like very close by here 7, 8, and 9 Somberstones,
Mm-hmm.
which I rarely see like whether bingo brawlers when I was watching or like a lot of players even here, like when we do practice match and stuff, don't really go for it that often.
No, I have seen a couple players go for it. It used to be more meta routing with the previous 2v2 format, the Bonanza mod, but it has fallen off in favor of the new routing, which is slightly faster, but it is nice to get all the stones in one place. The downside being that you do need a weapon to kill the scarabs, and they are pretty tanky if you are not prepared for it. Adon's Wild Strikes hyper armoring through the katana poke R1. Looks like they might be making an ever jailed play here.
The Madeline is trying to catch up in Silurian Coast by going for the Golden Misbegotten.
Going for the Misbegotten in Fissure Depths. This is a bit of a long square, but, getting that run ahead of time means that while you're sort of thinking, figuring out what your opponent's doing, you get a couple running sections underneath your belt. I know the commentary seat has gone a little quiet. I think we're all focused up and watching our players. 3 of them in a running section and a very, very intense hippo fight. Part of me not wanting to curse it, so not saying too much, but
I
good
know also
stagger.
like before the match started, like I was sitting in chat with Ariel and Charapos for a little bit. I'm probably gonna be I'm gonna do my best to pronounce the names correctly, but don't hate me. Like I was chatting with them for like a little bit, and like I do hope that like the game itself, like it does look to be weirdly close. Like one team pulls ahead, then the other teams catch up. But I do hope that like it's gonna be close for the entirety. Like we're gonna run to at least like uh 10, 13, 11, 13 or more. I know that for the for Ariel and Carapos, like the nerves started to sit in a little bit, uh, right by the time when the match was about to start.
Yeah. It can be a little nerve wracking. This is Ariel's very first event. DLC bingo is very difficult. There's a lot to learn, and there is a lot of pressure knowing that you're going up against someone like Ness, who is, for all intents and purposes, internet famous. Maybe only really known by like 1,000 people, but that's still a lot.
I mean, I think also like the big reason why we all here is because, Domo's Bingo Brawlers. So most, if not all, I assume in a bingo club will know Ness at least a little bit.
Mm-hmm. No more healing flasks left, but Golden Hippo is at the very tail end. Hopefully we see Ariel clutch it up. Nice stagger. That's it. We got the Golden Hippo kill. Ariel needed this big win. Good news is that for Team Solari, Madelyn and Ness have been making a lot of map progress. Oh, a death in backsection Shadowkeep. Not a huge time loss for Madelyn, but as I was saying, they have been making a fair bit of map progress, but they haven't been putting on a ton of pressure on the squares. This will be a
Yeah.
great way for Ariel, hopefully, to kind of reset that mental, figure out a game plan. You have some money to get some talismans, get a wet blade online, potentially grab the, the Ash of War, the Savage Lion's Claw,
Yeah.
and, get schmovin', get back into this, and potentially work on that diagonal even. I'm not sure if they're continuing to push that threat or have decided to look elsewhere, but
I also think it's a really good idea, especially for Ariel, to go for Golden Hippo because there's no squares that require you to go back section.
mm-hmm.
Hippo is 2 extra skidoo and a lot of money. And it's a lot faster to get through Shadowkeep if you have a nothing back section.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that. Usually there's something in back section, but this game has nothing.
Yep.
Absolutely nothing. There is the double dupe, which is slightly easier to get if you go back section. But yeah. Carpos did not get MadNess. Um, I'm getting corrected. Ness has 3,000 followers. Do not want to misrepresent the 1,000. It is 3,000 followers that know Ness, which means more people know Ness. This is definitely Ariel's time on the big screen. Carpos's time on the big screen, too. getting the duelist kill. This is first duelist. So I know that
I wonder
you.
which duelist they'll go for next as well, because it's not bosses. So
Mhm.
uh, I know there are two in Capital, there are two in Odina,
Yeah, I
one
was
in
very curious to say. I know that you're not a base game player; you play more on the DLC side. But for me, I played a game recently where Duelist was on the board in base game, and it was like the difference between 2 and 3 is quite noticeable.
yeah. I mean, I started with base game and like one of my most rushed squares, like near the beginning, not counting free friendly NPCs, was duelists. But yeah, it's definitely a big difference between 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, I'm not sure if I'd say 3 is easier than 2 because the consecrated does require running through the blizzard to get one of your duelist. And
And
also they are
they hit
very high
hard.
scaled.
Yes.
That's the one thing that really shocked me is that they have easily twice as much HP. So you could find your we're definitely like if you go out there unprepared, not ready, low vigor, low damage, you could be in for a long fight with a duelist that you have to do hitless because of the scaling. Furtive is saying that I need to make sure that 4 duelists is center square on the game that they're playing
Huh.
in chat.
I I missed a little bit what was happening on Ariel's screen. I
Mhm.
know Madeline picked up the cookbook for Heal Kindred, so I wonder if they're going for the same thing. Because there is nothing that I can see raw, but there is the
They're probably
that's a
picking up
bone
the
shard.
bone shard here.
Yeah. So I think they might be going for the same play.
Yep,
Heal
picking
Kindred.
up that bone shard. Uh, I would love to see just sometimes memory erasing is just faster. It looks like Madeline is searching for a black firefly potentially, or no, just trying to get out of combat so that way they can port away. Looks like we might have a drop on healing the wounded kindred of Rot, and this could be a snipe for Team Solari here. Now, there is an interesting thing to think about that not everyone does at the beginning of the game. Make sure that you buy your crafting kit. I cannot tell you how many times I have walked over to the Wounded Kindred and
Yeah.
then not been able to craft anything because I forgot to buy that at the beginning of the game.
Madeline did die to something on the
The drop
way.
down towards
Drop
Telia.
down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is gonna be like big square pickup for Ariel.
Also, I want to say, Josh, nobody is going to throw the Wounded Kindred of Rot off the cliff. They are trying to heal it. Some people are friends with the Wounded Kindreds. See, look, it's this nice friendly square. Friendly square. And looks like we got that mark on the Wounded Kindred of Rot. This is very good for that team. Looks like this is going to push uh, Madelyn into going towards the Piss Begotten.
Did I mishear you, Aggro?
No, I don't think you did.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Just wanted to make sure, you know.
You know, it's all nice and yellow.
So I see Charapos is going for the second duelist boss now.
This absolutely lovely skip that I have never messed up in a match before, ever, ever. Nope. Couldn't be me. Uh,
At least it's one of those safe skips, you know? You can't really die on it.
yeah, it's not one that you'll die on, but I have 100% gotten into this situation where I'm down here. Also, I didn't really think about this at the time. Ness has been working on Liurnia bosses, picking up the Knight's Calves, now going for the Tree Sentinel. We might see a snipe here away on those 5 bosses that ride a horse, which gets rid of any of that sort of pressure that Team Solari was working on earlier towards that diagonal, while also taking away the progress that Charapos did make early in the game towards those horse bosses. We do, if I believe, we have MadNess at 4 horse
Oh,
bosses now and
yep.
only needs 1 more to mark the square. Also, if my math is correct, if they get horse bosses, that makes this a majority game for MadNess at a lead of 8 squares to 4, which definitely makes this much more of an uphill battle for Solari to come back and get the W.
I mean, I think it is definitely a really, really good pickup with the, blocking of the bingo. I know in my match we played, we had the problem with 2 bingo lines. So speaking from experience, the sooner you can pick it up, the better.
Yes, 100%.
I
We're
think
getting the
Madelyn
enraged
is
version of
going.
the duelist now. The damage
Madelyn
is
is going
not
for Lamenta.
super fantastic, but it is still good enough to get a kill here. Uh, I'm not actually sure how many runes are dropped by this duelist here. I wonder if it'll be enough to get that faith requirement online, because I think the inseparable sword is one of those weapons that are slept on. Like, yeah, it's no great katana, but you can upgrade this weapon much more easily to a full +9, which I guess on the base game, it's not too noticeable on the bosses, but against Moog and whatnot, that will be very noticeable. Oh no! That is a tragic death. Almost dead. Only needed 1 or 2 more hits. And that was a dead.
I think Madelyn is lost in the jail.
Leaving the bear claws to help keep track of where she's going, mayhaps. I was so locked into the duelist fight, I didn't even notice the Madelyn screen.
Hey, I think that's smart, okay?
I do actually really like this of leaving these items that you know you're not going to use as a way to say, no, I've checked this area. Don't come back here. For those that don't know, I believe this is a talisman in the water there. It is the complete opposite direction that you have to go. This sewer system here in the jail is designed to be... so that's the talisman, the clarifying horn charm +2. This is designed to be a little confusing on purpose, where you pass by a branching path and you need to go backwards through that branching path. So this is unfortunately not the way to go. But
Is this Bonnie Village jail? It is, right?
yes, this is the Bonnie Village
Okay.
jail.
Because I didn't see which jail she went into, so for a second I thought it was Lamenta.
Okay, Madelyn's stream was stuttering there a little bit, but looks like we're back. Oh, we do have the invaders getting killed here, catching up on that ADM invader, potentially looking to go ADM on Ariel's side. Meanwhile, we have Ness working on Knight's Cav, going to close up that horse boss, not going for the Radon for the horse boss synergy there. Looks like they're not looking to close out on dupe, just going for block everything, full majority play afterwards. Looks like we have Drink Time saying that the item that she placed is in the correct direction. Oh, is this... This is the Lamenter jail. Looks like ported out potentially and then went to the Lamenter jail afterwards. This is one of those things... I'm not sure if this was Lamenter the entire time, which could have been... But I don't think so, because the immunizing Horn Charm 2 there is in the sewers. I think she left and came to Lamenter jail, just being like, nah, can't figure this one out. Let's go to Lamenter. Which is a really smart strategy. I think this might be a way of Madelyn tricking herself into making the correct play. Going for Lamenter here is going to be really nice, as long as you're confident in your ability to kill Lamenter.
Yeah, if you don't pick him out early when he splits, he can be incredibly annoying.
Mm-hmm. For those that don't know, that platform there that Madelyn dropped onto is what actually aggroes the pot dude underneath. So if you just jump over that platform, the pot guy will not aggro onto you.
Thank you, Aggro, for sharing the tech.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actually know that.
Yep. Anytime. We have back in the duelist fight, and Ariel is in the ADM fight, opening up options for Lamenter and Bale. Unfortunately, it looks like Lamenter might be gone by time they get down there. Ooh, gets a tag by the ADM, but recovers pretty well. One thing I didn't mention, death on the Frenzied Duelist. Charapos is not having the cleanest game this time around, has a couple unfortunate deaths, and, you know, it's not something that gets brought up all the time, but being in a situation where you die and having to potentially port away, you're not getting the kills, means that you're not getting any money to potentially upgrade that vigor a little bit more, get those levels for the damage. It could be a really tough spot to be in.
It also must be like so demoralizing, because I don't think the plans were like bad. It's just
I would my advice genuinely for Charapos, if you watch this back and you're thinking, oh goodness, what do I do in this situation where I'm down, I don't have the stats to wield my weapon per se, we're a little behind on squares, and I'm dying to these bosses, I think genuinely take the time to go, for example, setting up Moog. Seems like it'd be a bad play, but there's a lot of money in that direction, and you can get a lot of money. Take the time to upgrade your weapon. You can still upgrade the Inseparable Sword 2+9. I think taking the time to get some money, get your weapon upgraded to +9, you will continue to fall behind, but it is better than potentially feeding deaths in areas and getting more and more frustrated. It could be a nice way to reset your mental and upgrade and get back in the game. What happened? What happened? Oh, I see what happened. Chat, I'm sorry. Oh. Chat noticed aggro pivoting. Yes. So I turned my chair. My mic is very directional. I wanted to go ahead and reiterate for Charapos, if you're watching this back, a good thing to do in these sort of situations. The one thing that I was talking about was taking the time, go do like set up Moog or something. Might seem like a terrible square. There's lots of money along the way. Potentially run, get some money, upgrade that vigor, upgrade your weapon to +9, and just take a nice little mental reset away from whatever is, killing you at the moment, because it's something that we refer to as concussion percent, where you get into a death spiral of trying over and over again to fight the same thing without any success, making some meaningful progress in the way of upgrading yourself so that way next time you come back at it, you're guaranteed going to get that kill. You're guaranteed going to get through that running section without getting absolutely mauled by misbegottens.
I didn't want to interrupt, but Madeline picked up Lamenta, and it was a fairly clean fight.
Mm-hmm. Lamenter is always just scary because you don't know whether or not, like with these random weapons, I'm very comfortable knowing, hey, I know when I'm going to stagger the Lamenter out. With the random weapons, it's less comfy. Looks like we were going for the invaders here. Ooh, this could be an invader's snipe, though.
I don't know if Charapos has any invaders killed. I don't think I've seen any.
Madelyn did not kill. So, for Madelyn and anyone else who might be a little bit confused as what's going on right now, what happened is in order for killing this Cumbug to aggro more, which is what Madelyn's trying to do, you need to kill Queeline, and then before porting out, you have to kill the Kindred of Rot there. The reason why that works is because for whatever reason, it's coded that Queeline is a Kindred of Rot and more invades you after you kill 2 of them. So right now, Madelyn's like, oh, what's going on? You just have to go and kill a different Kindred of Rot now. So this would be the 3rd NPC invader that Madelyn is going for, which unfortunately, I'd imagine in comms right now is going something like, why isn't he spawning? Why isn't more spawning? What did I do? Why is it more spawning? We get a clean kill on Anastasia there. Gotta say, great katana. Such a great weapon for NPC invaders.
I do like seeing like the great katanas in base game because like obviously normally you get them in DLC, and there are so many fights like depending on the board as well in the base game that great katana just so much good work.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, NPCs.
Yeah, this is definitely a bit of a scary game too. Knowing that like what we know now, obviously weapon difference doesn't make or break a game. There are many ways that Ariel and Charapos could have come back with the disadvantage on the weapons, but this is definitely not helping. Squares are getting marked at a blisteringly fast rate on the blue side. Lamenter getting marked, NPC invaders getting marked. It's now 10-4. I really hope that Charapos doesn't take these deaths too harshly. This is definitely a rough game to be in with very low vigor, lots of potentially scary fights. The Misbegotten is, we joke about it because it's low scaled, but you come in here with no vigor and not a huge upgraded weapon. Like it's the big reason why Crusader, I think, is such a problematic boss. A lot of the moveset is the same across the 2 bosses. It's like this guy is just a menace.
Also, like specifically for this board, it's you can see from like Madelyn's helper, obviously she killed a lot more things, but like there's not a lot of like, killing. So there is not a lot of opportunity if you're trying to go for squares just quickly to get the stats for leveling up your vigor.
Yeah. And there's also, you know, this weird situation, I think it's really easy to get yourself into where you trick yourself into thinking, I should be able to do this, no problem, because usually at 56 minutes into the game, you have your weapon upgraded and you have a lot of kills under your belt. But Charapos in a lot of situations has kind of gotten sniped or gotten things taken away. And the bosses that Charapos has been killing haven't been dropping a lot of money. You know, the duelists don't drop a ton of money. The horse bosses don't drop a ton of money. You get yourself into the situation of like, hey, I've killed all these bosses. It's late into the game. Why aren't I as strong as I should be? And that definitely feels bad. Looks like we have... Yeah, we have Ariel invading the area of the Golden Misbegotten in the Fissure Depths. Meanwhile, looks like Team MadNess is looking to close out on the Jails Ever Jails. I believe, yep, that's it. That is the mark for Jails Ever Jails by Ness. Picking up the more curved sword. And I'm not sure what Madelyn is working towards now. I believe it's Magnus Loger. So they're looking to get that Magnus Loger, which we know that Solari already has the Loger kill on. We have Ariel taking in and infiltrating the area of the Golden Misbegotten. Meanwhile, Charapos going back in there. This is a revenge match. This is the grudge match.
It is also something you don't see a lot for the base game player to mark the Jails Ever Jails squares. Like usually the Ever Jails are so quickly for the base game that on the base side you're just done and doing something else while you're waiting for your DLC counterpart.
Mm-hmm. Also, I did want to go ahead and bring up something that happened in chat. One of the kind of complaints or questions that we had about this event was we wanted to remove a lot of the super hyper rushable squares from the format, or at least make them variant squares, so that way we didn't have so many situations where things were hyper rushable. And one of those that stuck around was Memory of Grace 50k. The Haligtree rune is 50k. It's very, very rushable. You can mark that square at like 2 minutes from receiving Torrent and getting access to the Haligtree. Like, it's maybe a minute run most. So you're like 5 minutes in the game able to mark that square. The big reason why that square has been in is because that 50k makes a huge difference in base game. We saw the early 50k Mog by Charapos, which could have been what was needed to get that weapon online or get a little bit more vigor so that way you're not getting one shot by the duelist. You know, we're not seeing a bad duelist fight at all. We're seeing one hit. You get caught out one time and it's just death. You know, like that was one tag by the annoying little ads before the fight. And it's just like, you're already at 0 vigor walking into this. It's crazy. It's just one hit.
I've also will say like I heard a lot of people say that like the square side I made, which is like the practice version of this for like just DLC, just base game, is kind of unbalanced to play with because you do end up with like too many rushable squares a lot of the times. That's why I prefer a lot more, obviously, the 2v2s, because you don't see a lot of those squares.
Yeah. We get that Loger Magnus Beast Claw co-op square getting marked. Oh, what an unfortunate death here. Are we finally going to get that revenge on the Frenzied Duelist? We're very, very close. We're going to see a little bit of patience, a jumping attack, and Charapos gets it. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the mark. That's only the second duelist, but yes. I'm so glad to see Charapos get in there, lock in, and get that kill. it's definitely something that feels good to be like, I've been struggling against this boss, but at least I got this kill before the match is over. Looks like Team MadNess is looking to win on Golden Misbegotten in Fissure Depths as their final square, but we have a death. Oh, did she get the quit out in time?
I think so.
Gets the quit out in time. We saw Ariel kind of infiltrating this area earlier in the match, but not finishing out this run and going for the square all the way. Don't exactly blame Ariel for that. This is definitely a bit of a dead-end square, but it could be how Team MadNess looks to just close out and finish this game. Yes, there are no gravity kills, but I did do thorough testing before allowing the square. If you, I personally will kill the skeletons before doing this or quit out right here. But if you stick close to this wall, the Misbegotten tends to not fall off the edge, and you can kind of keep it centered in this area. I think going for the quit out here, very, very smart. Just, you have to deal with the skeletons or quit out, which is, you know, in turn dealing with the skeletons. But yeah, I think you have to deal with the skeletons here. They're just an absolute menace. Madelyn going for the weed cutter. Unfortunately,
I don't think the weed cutter works that well.
There are no weeds here. Oh, but the one thing I gotta say, this Leonide Misbegotten folds like paper. We get the square marked. That is going to be a GG's and majority game by MadNess. What an amazing match.
Yeah, I think like I really hope that after the match is over, they like Charapos and Ariel don't gonna get down on themselves too hard, because they are like they were doing really good work when it comes to just you know, playing with it. Like I had a couple of games against them and stuff like that. I think just like the way the board was set up and stuff was a bit hard to go for some of those like squares, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah. That was a really great game. Good play by MadNess overall. I will say, final notes, looking back on this, I know is going to probably be a little harsh on the Solari team, because just noticing off rip that you missed Great Katana and Rakshas's Great Katana is probably going to be something you're just like, oh, yeah. Well, that would have made the game a little bit easier potentially. But yeah, it was a bit of a weapon difference on that end, but still good play. They made some good calls. I think it was just some unfortunate deaths in some very untimely places. But yeah, that's going to be it for this match today. I'm not sure if we're going to have any of the players come in and chat for a little bit. I do have a couple minutes if they're interested. But I'll ask the players if they're interested in having a post-game chat or see if the refs can I will have to message Mewtwo. They won't see my messages in the chat. Sorry, you are now no longer a face. Okay, your face is back. Sorry, I have to tab out of your face to go send a message. Let's see. Yeah, Mewtwo is asking right now. But yeah, that was a very, very exciting game. Um,
Let's take a look at some
whew,
things from the JoJo series and see what.
go away, YouTube. Bro, I opened my phone and YouTube started playing. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Oh,
Oh, hello, hello,
Hi.
hello.
hello.
GG's,
Wow.
guys.
Wanted to give
I'm
your
Missed her on the
scared.
board. I was scared. I was sad.
We did it. We did it. Goofy Goobers did it.
Epic
Yeah, nice job.
Yeah.
Oh, that was terrifying.
How do y'all feel about the game and the board and your game plan?
I think that this game, by far, our best communication. We were locked. I feel like we were locked the fuck in. I feel like Madeline and I were so good about like, I'm doing this. Here's what you should do. This is, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we did such a good job. I had the great katana, which makes me happy.
Same.
Yeah, we were just, two ladies with great katanas, with our big swords, whacking them around at everybody in the lands between, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think y'all did
I was
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Madeline.
sorry. I was sad when I accidentally ported to Roundtable after the the first Blessing America.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, do I check right now to compete for the Dane Square and make something out of it? But I was like, no, I want the Blessing America Square, so I went for it, and it worked out.
Mhm.
I was happy that I was like, perfumed oil is a quick square, and so I was like, I feel like I should get south access, but then I was like, I need to go through ADM, so I made sure to do that, and that was actually really helpful for the money too. So yeah, overall, I liked the game plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that recognizing Liurnia being super important was good. I mean, I yes, I was informed that I did indeed forget that Loretta existed. Sometimes you just forget, guys. But besides that, you know.
No, I think y'all played very well. Y'all had a very commanding performance. I think in the early game that was really nice. We'll probably talk about this with the other team when they got in there, but yeah, Cracked Pots and Dryleaf Dane were very strong snipes by your team
Really?
to get a nice early lead. Both of y'all getting a double snipe in that regard and having that 3-0 lead. And then, Team Solari did bring it back with 3-3, but at that point, y'all had made a very, I would say, interesting but good call to make a lot of map progress instead of prioritizing squares. Just be like, no, let's go set up map. Like, let's get ready for the late game and the mid game, which I think paid off dividends when that time came.
Damn.
I would like to also say incredibly smart, Madeline, for leaving the pieces of your gear and items through the paths you already went through.
That's
I
so
was like-
sick.
I was like, oh my god. I was like, and then I realized I was like, I shouldn't be down here at all. And so I went back up, and I'm like, oh, I felt bad. I'm glad that it happened in a moment later in the match. I know Bonnie and Belly Rat Jail well,
Mm-hmm.
but Lamenter, I knew it well for a practice game, and then it was gone.
Real.
And so I got turned around a little bit, but then I remembered I knew I was looking for like the big curvy staircase. I don't go in the first one, I go in the second one. So yeah, once I figured it out, I'm like, okay, awesome. And then I was really scared at the very end of the Lamenter fight when I had the 4 little things around my head. And I was like, if I mess up right now, it's over.
And then you stinked up and locked in. Easy.
I did. My damage was not all that great on him, to be honest. I don't think so, at least.
I mean, it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
All
I don't know
things
what
considered.
people usually like to be at going in there in terms of shouty level, and I think I was possibly sitting on a level.
I've seen a lot lower. I've seen a lot higher. Like, I think that is such a comfort fight. Like, either you're comfortable with it or you're going to be sitting there being like, I don't know. I don't think I'm ever ready.
Yeah, checking my shadow. I did that. That was a scary run through. At the very end for the Misbegotten, but I at least had all my shadow fragments used, which is nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because that's something I struggle with is sitting on them, forgetting I have them.
Yeah. I liked your confidence there in this game. I think one thing I mentioned when we were starting this tournament is I mentioned, I was like, man, Madelyn's always in chat, asking questions, practicing. Like,
Yeah.
y'all are going to be scary. Like, Madelyn's going to show up on, week 1 with all this practice underneath her belt. Like, you're not just going to be the same person you were when you signed up for the event. You got a lot more confident in your play, and I'm excited to see that. I love seeing that improvement from you.
Yeah, I
Yay.
definitely have had a lot of fun putting into practice and stuff, and I got, I was so excited when I got the quit out, right? Not the quit out, the teleport away from the first divine blessing. Of course I ported to the wrong place, but I was like, you know what? Let's make it work, and it worked out okay. Did they just go for Dryleaf Dane over? Like, was Blessings America close?
Yeah.
Through
I
path
was
to-
gonna say, before we get any more into the discussion of the actual game, I'll invite the other team in.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we'll see if they want to chat. I have Mewtwo asking them right now if they'd like to come up and chat.
Okay.
They're more than welcome to join us for this post-commentary match. I'm sure they have a lot to say about the squares as well and their own game plan that we were not able to suss out in just, commentary.
Okay.
Welcome in.
Thank you. GG's, girls.
GG's, guys.
Jeez.
Wanted to give all the players here a massive GG's. Also, now that you're in the chat, I believe it's Charapos, right? I think I was pronouncing it incorrectly at the beginning. Charapos, Satan called me out on that. I gotta say, very glad to see that you got your revenge kills off this match on that duelist and Misbegotten that were giving you a bit of trouble in the early game.
Yeah, that like this entire game, other than getting Bloodhound with Blide, everything after that was a mistake.
I'm not sure if I'd call it a mistake.
Well,
but
it was poor play on my part, because I mogged with 50k, which that by itself wasn't a problem. But when I went to level up the weapon, I wasn't paying attention, spent all my money on upgrades, and then I couldn't wield the weapon effectively.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just to throw this out here, everyone was using different weapons. So Ness was using the Great Katana. Madelyn was using Rakshasa's Great Katana. Ariel was using the Great Horn. And Charapos was using Inseparable Sword.
Wait,
Okay.
What
was it
Ariel,
Rakshasa's?
what'd you use?
The Great Horn, and it was in Round Table.
Rakshasa's was in Round Table.
Rakshasa's was in Round Table.
Oh
Yes.
no, I did this again.
We knew in the post-match discussion that there was going to be a little bit of oops,
Once
Mr. Rakshasas.
where I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's Rivers of Blood.
Mm-hmm. The icon looks a lot like Rivers.
They're so similar. My God.
Yeah, I've missed stuff in Round Table so many times. There's one time I was trying to raise some bowls and I missed claws.
Oh yeah.
So so you went with the Grey Hammer. Okay. That is solid. Yeah.
It was fine. It was a little slow, but it was fine.
Yeah.
Was Inseparable in the Greatsword check?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Wow.
and-
I never do that check. I fucking hate that check.
I check it because I feel like I usually have good luck with it. Like maybe
It's because you're in a
a
game with
quarter
me.
of the time.
No, I hates me. I swear
Maybe-
to God, it's always something stupid.
Well, like 25% of the time I check it, it's like Lord Sworns or like the great sword, or no, not the great sword. What's the other one?
Claymore?
Not really great
Or Lord
weapons.
Soren's great sword.
Yeah. But then the rest of the time I check it, it's like Death's Poker, Inseparable Sword, Alablaster. Like, I almost always have good luck with it, and it's 10 feet from the Grace, so I check it.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I saw
that was
Great Katana and was like, Lamau.
yeah, I like I was not surprised that you got cracked pots. You sniped me on that. But
How
where I
close was
messed
it?
up was it wasn't that close. I was at the top
Okay.
of Jarburg still.
Okay.
But I should have gone down to grab the ritual pots because I grabbed the one at last Kiar already. But I didn't, like, my brain stopped working and I was like, I need to pivot and go do Blide. And because my thinking was you did cracked pots, so you were next to Kale. So then you were going to kill him and then go get Blide. That didn't happen. But that's what I expect. I totally expected you guys to rush column 2.
Okay. Yeah, I was really scared. I was really scared when you didn't mark Mog or Crackpots that you were going just straight to Red Wolf. So I was like hauling ass. I was like, "Oh my god, I have to get there first. I have to get to Red Wolf first or we're cooked."
Yeah, and then, like, I just, since my weapon, like, I couldn't wield it, like, it still, don't get me wrong, it still did plenty of damage. It's still good.
Yeah.
But not as good as it could have been. So, um, you know, and the big reason I like that weapon is because you go into a boss fight and you're never next to the boss. It has a projectile attack that buffs it. So while the boss is charging you, you buff and deal damage. And especially if it's like +9 on most of our enemies, were all Liurnia and Weeping. So it's like, cool, like, you're going to do half their health if you have a high scaled weapon.
Yeah. I'm just biased. I'm biased towards the Great Katana. I just like go so tunnel vision. Like, I was like, okay,
I was happy.
this is my
I
weapon.
was like, I feel like when you get like a weapon that you're comfortable with right at the start, it's like such a nice mental.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I want to say refresh because like the game has just started, but it's just like, I don't know. It's like a mental tic tac. Just gets you nice and fresh for the game.
We had a big discussion one time, like, post-match. Somebody was talking about how much they hate the Starfists, even though it's like a super meta pick. They hate it because of the range. And it's like, yeah, like, there might be a weapon that is technically superior, like on the numbers it's on top, but you don't like it, so you're not as good with it. So you'll beat somebody with something, quote, inferior.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of you with a lot of some of the like big weapons, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not a huge fan of like colossals, although I've been getting better. I'm reformed. I've been crouch poking before, or like I crouch poke now. So, but still, yeah, I mean, like, I'll take a katana over a big weapon any day, even though, a lot of people will yell at me for that.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
I'll say this too, because this is like a skishy thing for me, but like, I'm pretty bad at dodging. Like, it's so weird because, like, compared to 99% of the gaming population, everybody in this chat is like top tier. But compared to everybody here, I'm not that skilled. So I like to have a heavy, like a colossal weapon or a great sword, because I can get micro staggers.
Yeah, I mean, they're good. That's why they're good.
Me with Adrian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I go that way as much as I can.
Gotcha.
Me when I'm
I mean,
I'm so mad that I got sent to do perfumed oil. It felt so bad.
Did you go through ADM?
No, cause I did not. I was just like, I cannot let you get 3 squares on that column right off the bat. Like,
Gotcha.
if I go to ADM and anything happens, that's
Oh, you know what? I kind of see it now.
just like
because there is
right,
only
or if I go to ADM
one.
and you don't, like that,
Yeah. So
right? So I just ran there.
yeah, the only time that we thought about a line was row 3, but I was too slow on Kindred of Rot, partially because I split a lot. I mean, I grabbed the cookbook and then I grabbed the Grace right before the bridge to Rao, and then something happened. Oh yeah, I had like TLA skip or like incident, or like I was going from Egon Grace um to TLA skip, and I died on the drop down to TLA. So like just a bunch of small stuff like that really added up, and so I definitely lost that square pretty handedly because of it. But it did let me. Well, who knows what's up with Moore and why he wouldn't invade me?
Oh, yeah, we
You
talked
can't-
about it with Aggro.
We talked about it in the match.
so-
Oh, yeah.
So the reason
Yeah.
Moore did not invade you there is because Queeline is treated, for all intents and purposes, as one of the Kindred of Rot. In the coding, Queeline is counted as one of them, but only in regards if you kill the one on the hill immediately after killing Queeline. The way you get him to invade you is by killing 2 of the Kindred of Rot in total. So you have to kill 2 Kindred of Rot. If you just left and killed another one of the Kindred of Rot, then he would have invaded you.
Yeah,
So that's all you had to do to get that invasion to work.
Okay.
But yeah,
I
for the
remember one
future,
time I
if you
got him
don't
to do it
port-
there.
Yeah, if you
but
don't port, kill Queeline and then kill the Kindred, then more will spawn. But like I said, you cannot
So that's
TP
what I
out.
did.
Yeah,
That's
if
what
you
I
port
did.
away, he no longer counts as a Kindred of Rot. It's like a
Whoa.
bug that he counts in general. I think it's just like, it's like a friendly dude, right? And you killed him. It works. Yeah. More invasion. Elden Ring
bizarre.
spaghetti
Okay.
code.
Yeah.
Classic.
Well, I know
Nice.
that I'm glad that I gave it another shot, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Nope, let me pivot and do my jail, because I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know what to do differently here. So I'm like, okay, and like you were saying about our communication nest, like that was like a really good. I feel like we had like good like energy there, like saying, you have a fast 4th one
Yeah.
if it's needed, and I'm like, yep, I'm having a problem with this, and it was just like really easy to be like, hey, this isn't working. Let's change the plan a little bit, and it went really
Yeah.
well.
100%.
Alrighty. I don't mean to cut anyone off. Unfortunately, I do have to hop off and end the stream here. If our players want to stick around in this chat and continue their post-match discussion, obviously feel free to do so. But I will be just wrapping up the stream here and ending it really quick. Wanted to give you guys a massive GG's for not only playing in the event, but the game that you gave us today, for letting us stream, and being awesome people.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
guys.
Aggro.
That was a lot of fun.
For everyone that's in the stream, I'm going to be ending it here. As always, feel free to hop into the Bingo Club. Feel free to talk any of these players. I'm sure they'd be more than willing to chat and yap your ears off about Elden Ring in the game. These guys are absolutely fantastic and wonderful players. Huge improvements overall, because I gotta say, Nessonetta here might be the big star of the show. Been playing Bingo for a long while. Bingo brawler extraordinaire. Madelyn, Charapos, Ariel, all brand new to Bingo. This is their first event. This is their first match of the first event. So
Oh my god, really? Oh my god. Welcome. Welcome to Bingo.
this was really exciting to see them come in here and play and have hopefully a really fun time marking some squares.
It was fun.
Obviously, I know that this match probably didn't go as intended, but y'all made some really good plays. Y'all had some really good ideas. I don't want y'all to get discouraged whatsoever. This was a really great game to watch and commentate over. A big, massive shout out to Dom, too, for being here on the stream. What a beautiful mug we have over there. I'd love to see any of y'all, if y'all are interested, players that are here in the chat. If any of y'all want to co-commentate on some games, feel free to shoot me a message. I loved watching you play. I'd love to have you here in the hot seat with me, too.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm probably gonna hop
Thank
off
both
and
of you for the
streaming.
cast.
Yeah, thank
And-
you for the cast.
Yeah,
Thank you for
GG's. Y'all have a
casting this.
wonderful day.
GG's.
GG's,
Thank ya.
guys.
Right.
See you later.
GG's. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.